Iraq just had its fifth elections to select the members of the Council of Representatives. This has been a peaceful process. It is expected to yield a new parliament, and also it will be followed by the formation of a new government. This election has been different in several ways. One, it is for the first time conducted under a new law that narrowed the geographical span of districts. Now, the province is no longer a district as a whole, but the province is divided into more than one districts, with the possibility of more than one candidate from each district. Also, it is the first election that is in post-2003 Iraq that is an early election or a snap election. This is not a regularly scheduled constitutional election every 4 years. And also it followed the first time an Iraqi government was forced to resign by protests. There are many differences about this election. Still, Iraqis are feeling their way in seeing how they could handle this new set of rules. We are not having the election results up to the point that we are speaking now. So depends on how the final count of seats will come out. There might be a change also in the makeup of the parliament than what previously was. The turnout is the biggest story in this election, and I believe that low turnout, while it is highly important for producing a parliament that is more representative of the general sentiment of the Iraqi polity. However, turnout by itself is not a sign of legitimacy in the legal sense. There is no legal requirement of a threshold for turnout for the elections to be legitimate. And also, the process itself is legitimate as long as no eligible voters are prevented from their exercising their rights. All the indicators from Iraqi and international observers indicate that all Iraqis who wanted to vote were allowed to vote, and there were no obstacles or intimidation or any fear of retaliation by any voter. So that is a good sign on the process itself. The most important aspect of the preliminary elections results so far is, and again, because of the low turnout, is a shift in the parliamentary lots of the traditional parties. Right now, the Shia, who ran in 4 different blocks, have different election results. Again, this is preliminary result, with the Sadrists being the apparent winner of the election results from the Shia side. This is not a change from the last election. The Sadrists were the holders of the highest number of seats in the Iraqi parliament, but the margin of win is significantly high, and it is expected when the final results are certified that they will be significantly higher than their Shia competitors. And there were certain expectations, especially by the nationalist Shia voices. They have been shattered. There are also independents among the Shia parliamentary makeup that have emerged mostly from either the protester representatives or those who are supported by the protesters of October 2019, which is a movement that has been brewing for the last 2 years. On the Sunni side, there are two major lists. One of them is led by Mr. Khamis al-Khanjar, and the other is led by the current Speaker of the Parliament, or the former Speaker of the Parliament, now that the Parliament has been dismantled, Mohammed al-Halbousi. And Mohammed al-Halbousi appears to be the winner, and that is expected. The Kurds seem to have also some surprises, although there is no surprise that the Kurdistan Democratic Party held its own support and its own position, but the Suleimaniya side of Kurdistan seem to have a different makeup so far, especially with the disappointing results of Goran or Change. They don't seem to have good results, but also the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan does not seem to hold a very strong position. So in general, the low turnout has benefited the traditional ruling parties across the nation, but it seems that the distribution of the votes and of the seats have changed. The biggest story, again, is the low turnout and also the rise of independent candidates who won seats in several provinces that were sealed in the past for the traditional parties. This will come as a bittersweet feeling for the supporters of independent candidates and also the supporters of the protests of October 2019, because they were the ones who boycotted the elections, except for in a couple of provinces, Nasiriyah or the Aqar being the most important one, where they made a lot of gains because of higher participation of protesters and independents. Had this election had a great turnout, we would have seen a major loss for traditional parties, or several traditional parties at least, but also it would have translated into major gains for independents and the protester-leaning candidates. So the choice of boycotting, which was predicated on the idea that votes don't matter and change is impossible to happen, that boycott has been a bad decision, as we argued all along, and it's a hard lesson for those who did not participate. They will have to wait until the next elections to make their voices heard, and it might or might not be a golden opportunity like this time. So we are all waiting for the final results, but also we have to remember that the elections are only one phase of the Iraqi electoral process. The more exciting phase is going to be the post-election negotiation that will end up with the formation of a government and the distribution of power among the winning parties. This process will start immediately after the Iraqi Supreme Court certifies the results in the coming couple of weeks, and then we will see how that will play. Most likely, we are going to see another attempt of negotiation over the actual results of the elections. Although the Sadrists have won a handsome number of parliamentary seats, that does not guarantee they will have a prime minister from their own side, either because they will not be allowed or maybe they will not want that. So in that point, we would have another compromise prime minister. But in general, the government formation will be something very important to watch. And more importantly, whoever the prime minister and whoever sits in the next government and next cabinet, they will have tremendous challenges and tremendous tasks to perform, given the mandate that is going to be there. It's not a very huge mandate for the government, so there will be more demands and less support for the next cabinet, and we will see how they will perform and what the final verdict will be on the early election process, its results, and the government that came out of it.